What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to the Hangout spot where you already know it's Real Talk Boxing Talk live from our man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and we are here Saturday. Actually Friday night, man. Friday night, and the Fatal Fury card ended a little while ago. And I gotta tell you, man, it was absolutely insane, man. It was absolutely insane. And I'm not talking about the entire card in totality, man, but the way it ended, man. I just had to come up on here and talk about this Ryan Garcia loss to Ronnie Romero, man. I mean, big time upset, man. Big time upset. And I can't tell people I didn't say there was gonna be an upset. I've been said it. I said it all week. I said this to me. There's gonna be something that's gonna happen tonight that's gonna make all of us go like, "What the fuck just happened?" And that was it, man. That was it, bro. Ryan Garcia loses to Rolly Romero.
This is nasty.
That's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy. I had to come out here and do a live, man, and talk to you guys about it because I got to be honest with you, man. I was looking forward to this card, and it was an epic occasion, right? Something that we had never seen before in the history of boxing. We actually had a live fight in the middle of Times Square. They shut down half of the street. Now they closed off the ring area, which I didn't really like. I thought there was gonna, I thought when they first announced it was gonna be open to the public, right? You kind of knew that there would be, assigned seating or whatever it was, or seating that was gonna be for invite only and probably media credential people and all that other stuff. But I thought it would be open for the public to see, right? But they kind of closed that whole thing off and people were barricaded on the side of 42nd Street. I mean, but at the end of the day, again, something that had never been done before. I was looking forward to it, man. But I got to be honest, man, it kind of disappointed me, man. It disappointed me, because I'm a traditional type of guy. You know what I mean? Like these were three big fights, three fights that could have been main events on any single card, and they plugged them all in together. But I'm a traditional guy, man. You put these guys in an arena with 15,000 people and it would just be crazy. It kind of seemed like when these guys were fighting, man, it was like, things was quiet and shit. It just, the energy that I thought was going to be, evident. Times Square, New York City, New Yorkers. I thought it'd be something like New Year's Eve, in Times Square. It was super disappointing, man, to me. I mean, like I said, I don't know how anybody else is going to feel. It was kind of disappointing to me. And then again, but then again, I'm looking forward to the fights, right? I mean, these were, on paper, three great fights. And to be honest with you, they were underwhelming as well, man. I mean, the performance of the night was Teofimo Lopez. He did what he needed to do. He cooked Arnold Barboza, but it wasn't really, really exciting. He just outboxed him for 12 rounds. And I love Teo. He's such a talented fighter. The athleticism, the footwork, the defense, moving his head, the showboating. But in my opinion, Teo does a lot more showboating than he should be doing. Like Teofimo, in my opinion, is more concerned with being a showman, than being the guy that could obviously take over the 140-pound division. So again, great performance by Teo, though. I'm not going to knock that performance. Devin the Dream Haney made his comeback. He did what he needed to do, winning a unanimous decision against Jose Ramirez. But I had to check my pulse at one time because I was just falling asleep, man. I mean, that fight, Devin Haney, he did a lot of moving in that fight. Not enough punching for my take. And Ramirez was standing right there in front of him. And I don't know what was going on with Devin Haney in that performance. Maybe y'all could tell me in the chat. I put the link in the chat, man, if y'all want to call in and give your take on it. But that was a very underwhelming performance, but he won nonetheless, so you got to give him credit. But then you got the main event, Ryan Garcia against Rolly Romero. My goodness, man. And shout out to my brother Two-Tone, man, because he's crashing out on his live right now, man. He's the biggest Ryan Garcia fan I know, and he's crashing the fuck out. Listen, I said it, man. I told everybody there was going to be at least one upset. I said it here. I said it on the Boxing Voice. Nesta Gibbs called me a conspiracy theorist. I said it. I said, I have a funny feeling there's going to be one upset on this card. It just has to be. But I never, ever thought it would be Ryan Garcia against Rolly Romero. I thought it was going to be Teofimo against Barboza. That was my prediction. And I think when I put the poll this week, I think you guys were agreeing with me. I think everybody was agreeing with me. And if you weren't agreeing with me, I don't know if everybody was picking Rolly against Ryan. I mean, I gotta check the polls again. But nonetheless, man, I had Tio against Barboza as my upset special. Like I was picking Tio, but I'm just saying if I had to pick one fight out of the three that I thought had the best chance to be an upset, it would be Tio and Barboza. I wasn't even thinking about Ryan against Rolly. I had Ryan stopping Rolly, bro, in 6 rounds. And then he comes out there and he gets dropped in the second round, bro. And that just changed the entire complexity of the fight, bro. He was gun shy after that. Ryan Garcia, the man with the faster hands, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but that was just a terrible performance. And you got to give a shout out to Rolly Romero, man. I never thought that Rolly could pull this off. I never thought Rolly could pull that off, man. Shout out to Rolly, man. You got to give Rolly credit, man. I mean, listen, this is the best part about boxing, man. I mean, upsets are always good for the sport of boxing, you know, but I didn't think that this would be the upset that we'd be talking about tonight. Like, I wasn't even planning on doing a live tonight, but I'm like, yo, social media is cooking right now. Like, I got to get a part of this, bro. Social media right now is cooking. And I got to jump in and I got to talk about this shit too, man. I need a piece of the pie, bro. Chat, let me know what y'all think, man. Like I said, we've been talking about this fight card for weeks. We've been anticipating it. Much anticipated. Never seen before. Times Square, New York City. Half of the street was closed off. This was supposed to be, something that we'd be talking about for like years, for decades. And we might be. I mean, again, who knows if it's ever going to be done before. I'm not knocking the fact that it's been done. This was history tonight. But at the end of the day, what we saw tonight, I got to be honest, bro. I was telling my wife, and she was totally underwhelmed with it as well. And I was telling her, I said, you know what, babe? If I knew this was going to be like this, I would have just took you out. And I would have just caught the replay. I would have caught the replay. I mean, listen, I'm just keeping it 100, bro. It wasn't what I was expecting it to be. I love boxing. But at the end of the day, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I was praying that the main event was going to be like uplifting. Like, you know what? Okay, well, now maybe the main event will be exciting because the other two fights, not so much. I mean, like I said, Tio did what he did. But I was expecting Tio to get Arnold Barboza out of there, bro. I mean, there's levels to this game, and he showed from a boxing perspective, footwork. Tio's a special fighter, bro. There's a lot of good things that Tio does, man. Tonight, he was cooking. I ain't gonna lie. He was cooking. But, you know, I think that Tio is more concerned with being a showman than just getting this guy out of here. Like, I'm like, yo, okay, you did what you need to do the first 6, 7 rounds, but you might need to concentrate on getting Barboza out of there. Because to me, Barboza looked basic. Bro. Devin Haney. You know, I'm thinking that Devin Haney was going to look a lot different. He did a lot of moving, man. A lot of moving, not a lot of punching. I mean, he landed the shots that he needed to land. It was almost like one shot at a time. Hit, move, hit, move. For a guy that had been out of the ring for a year, stamina wasn't an issue. He was doing a lot of moving. He just wasn't doing a lot of punching. And in my opinion, I think he was worried about what was coming back in return, bro. I think that Ryan fight did a lot to Devin Haney's mental than we know. But nonetheless, he won the fight. And it wasn't debatable. I mean, Ramirez just wasn't busy. He wasn't really doing enough. He wasn't really throwing any punches, bro. This fight was boring. It was boring as hell. Again, I had to pinch myself to stay awake. And then I'm thinking, you know what? This is the fight that's going to wake us all up, bro. Based on styles, Ryan against Rolly. Ryan comes in riding the Batmobile. I was like, Ryan's riding the Batmobile in here. And then that performance, bro. Rolly drops him in the second round, and that was it. It was like Ryan just wasn't letting his hands go, bro. Ryan was not letting his hands go, bro. He loses that fight. Now what happens? Is he going to fight Devin Haney? Probably not. That fight just fucked up the bag. Do we really want to see that fight based on these two performances, Haney's performance and Ryan's performance? Even though Devin won? I don't know, man. Let's go to the phone lines, man. I got my man Alberto, bro. What's going on, Alberto? You here at the Hangout Spot Live. Talk to me.
Yes, sir. What's up, Johnny? Just calling in to let some steam off. Man, that was such a terrible card, wasn't it?
Let me tell you something, man. As much as we look forward to it, man, I walked away from that like, yo, what just happened, man? What just happened?
Yeah, I think. Do you think that it has anything to do with maybe like with these turkey cards? He's trying to do it up. He's really trying to ham up the cards. He wants them to be like the old school cards back in the day. Like the Don King fight cards. I think maybe. Do you think the fighters kind of are like with social media nowadays, nobody wants to be a meme. Do you think they all play it kind of safe because they know there's a lot of eyeballs? And so they're like, as long as I don't get knocked out and I see the final bell, that's a win.
That's a good question, man. I don't know, man. I mean, listen, there was a lot of hype going into this fight card. And again, we were all excited because it was something that we had never seen before, right? Times Square, New York City, street shut down. On paper, these three fights were fights that we were all excited about. Myself, everybody. We did the live chat. We talked about it all week. We were all excited about it. But then at the end of the day, I think again, there's just a lot of things that went wrong tonight.
And I think we're gonna see more of that tomorrow, Johnny. Not to cut you off. I
You
don't think.
so?
Yeah, I don't think Canelo Skull's gonna give us the entertainment or like that. That wow factor tomorrow. I feel like it's just gonna be Canelo chasing Skull around, and he's probably gonna win 10 rounds by UD, and then he's gonna scream "Viva Mexico, cabrones!" and then we're gonna be like, all right, let's hopefully Inui can deliver. And man, today it really stung, Johnny, because I was really pumped. I was like at a 10, and then every fight went as the fights just progressed round by round. I just kind of it just fucked me up, Johnny. I don't know about you, but
listen, man, I was expecting, you expecting something big, and then you get what you got tonight. And like I said, I was trying to be optimistic about it as it was going along, but I was being more critical than anything else because number one, I was a little disappointed that they kind of closed everything off. Like the fans, I thought it was going to be kind of wide open. Like I knew that there would be a section around the ring where they would have assigned seating, by invite. I knew, but I didn't think that they would close it off and fence it off to the.
The event felt like COVID, like it felt like dead in there.
That's Alberto. That's a great point. That's what it felt like. And then during the fights, like I said, I'm a traditional type of guy. It felt quiet. Like you could hear the corner. You can hear
the sirens.
You can hear exactly. You can hear the sirens, the everything. And it was like, I don't know. These fights were so big on paper that I would have preferred to see them in an arena with 10, 15,000 people
with some energy.
Right. There was no energy while these fights were going on. So I had an issue with that. The commentating, listen, God bless Jim Lampley. I love Jim Lampley. I love the fact that they brought him back. That to me was the brightest spot about the commentary, but I wasn't crazy about Mike Coppinger at all.
Mike Coppinger in it.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't, if you wanted to bring Jim Lampley back, why not bring Max Kellerman back with him?
Facts.
Like that would have been dope. You know what I'm saying? That would have been.
Who was the old dude that used to get at Floyd? They should have brought him back too.
Oh, Larry. That's Larry.
Yes.
I don't even. Yeah, that dude's probably like 90 years old or whatever. But I don't know if he's in the right condition to be able to do that. But you're right. Let's say he was. That's the team that you bring back for something like this. Like Mike Coppinger. Like I was like, really? Like they. I think Jim Lampley checked him a couple of times. In the beginning part of that. In some portions of that card. But
throughout the card,
either way, like I said, it was the commentary I wasn't crazy about, minus Jim Lampley. The whole the way it was set up was nice, like the way it looked, but I just didn't get it didn't give me a feel of a big time boxing event that we would normally get super pumped up. I don't know, Alberto. I don't know if you've been to a live fight or whatnot, but I've been to plenty of live fights in arenas where there's 10, 15,000 people. It's just a different type of energy that I didn't feel in this card. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
for sure. I haven't been to a boxing event, but I've been to like a football and basketball. It's like even me watching it from the TV, it's like a palpable, like you could feel the energy from like, when a Tank fights and he goes to Barclays, it's like I could feel that shit through the TV. And this one just, I don't know, it just felt like COVID. It felt like when they were playing for the NBA title in the bubble in Disneyland. I don't know. It just, and I know there was a lot of people that wanted to see it because they kept panning. That's what I didn't get because they kept like showing the camera like in between the rounds and they were showing all the people lined up Times Square. I think I even saw Marco. He went live. He was like one of the people on the outside. And yeah, it was just crazy. I mean, honestly, the highlight, like you said, was Tio. Tio did his thing. Barboza, he let us down. Like as a Mexican, he let us down. Like he really talked a good game, and then he went in there and just he laid a goose egg. Uh, Haney, Johnny, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Do you think Haney's like shot now? Like I'm the one that was like a big proponent of that. To me, like I don't know if you were hearing the commentary. Tarver even kept saying like Haney, why is he moving so much? And it's like he's kind of scared to get hit. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think there may be something there, man. I didn't think that going into the fight, but you're right. There was just, and I said it before you jumped on. There was way too much moving and not enough punching. It was almost, and my thing was he was fighting against a target that was pretty much stationary. Like Ramirez was there to get
He was
hit.
there to get hit. He was there to get knocked out.
Absolutely, he was there to get hit, and it was almost like Devin Haney was satisfied with just one hit and moving. Way too much moving for me, and made a lot of emphasis on not trying to get hit by a guy that's not a big puncher like Ryan was. Obviously, I could see that against Ryan. So yeah, man, there may be something to that. I mean, we all know the deal. Boxing, is also mental, right? It's a psychological thing. Maybe it was, I hadn't been in the ring for over a year. The last thing I want to do is get hit with a big punch and get hurt early. Maybe he was thinking about a potential fight with Ryan and not trying to blow that. So he was maybe satisfied with just scoring up some points and winning some rounds because he did win the fight. He did win the fight. It just
Hmm.
wasn't really impressive to me. So I'm thinking, okay, he wins that fight, whatever. Ryan goes in there, does what I thought he was going to do. Nobody's realistically going to pick David Haney to win the rematch. And look, and then Ryan lays an egg, in the main event. It was just a crazy event, man. It was a crazy event. I hate to vent about it because again, I was looking forward to it. I'm a fight fan more than anything else, but I want to bring up a comment here. Shout out to Ebenezer Stuntman Griffin, my guy. What's going on, champ? There you go, 154-pound prospect that we had last week on the show, and we talked about this card, or actually this week, we talked about this card and we broke it down. And he says, incredible show and stage. I think the actual fights let boxing down though, and put a big shadow over the good of the event. I agree with that. I
Facts.
totally agree with that, man. Shout out to you, champ. Appreciate you chiming in, but I agree with that. I just think that it was a letdown in totality. It was a letdown in totality, and it ended with an upset that realistically I didn't see coming. Shout out to Rolly though, I got to give him credit. I mean, that right hand was just taped to the side of his face. He was not trying to get hit with that left hook. That was
No.
evident, and he did not get hit with any meaningful left hook. I don't know what's going on with Ryan, bro.
But
I don't know.
Johnny,
Just opened up a can of worms.
yeah, no, for sure. But I agree with that comment a lot. Like, this fight was a pay-per-view, correct? I think it
This was
was.
a pay per view. They were charging for this. If you bought both today's card and tomorrow, you got it in a bundle for $90. But if you were buying it separately, it was $60 a pop.
See, so $60, right? And I think this also falls on the fighters. It's like, boxing, we're there to see people get hit. I'm not saying it has to be a Mexican like phone booth style, but to a certain extent, we want to see action. And this is why I feel like it's on the fighters because Turkey paid you guys. You guys got paid your big purses, but I don't feel like they put it out on the line for us. It's kind of like that's why I think this is what kills boxing because think about all the casuals. Like I know Turkey had I'm not sure if you watch ESPN, Marco, but he had Pat McAfee like hype up the event today, and he has like a big following, and like so a lot of casuals maybe tuned in, and it's like if you paid $60 today, I'm never buying another pay-per-view.
That's a good point. That's a good point. This was being hyped up for for casuals as well. Like you got to think about it. Like they did have some fans, but they were barricaded across the street on 42nd Street, so they weren't really involved in the whole action. I'm sure they were playing it on the monitors over there. I'm just glad I didn't go, unless I would have had a seat or a credential, because that just wouldn't have been my cup of tea to watch something on a screen, in the middle of the street in Times Square. Like for that, I'll just stay home. But again, I think the idea of the event was good. I think pulling it off was good as well. Again, something that we had never seen before. I just didn't think it delivered. It didn't deliver anything near what we were expecting at the end of the day. And then the fights, like I said, they were underwhelming. They were just really, really underwhelming. To go back to your point with Barboza, Tio was doing a lot of moving. Tio did a lot of good things in there, man. He showed, really good movement, his athleticism, his speed. And I think that posed problems for Barboza, and he could never really adjust. So in that particular fight, I'm gonna say that, Tio is a level above Barboza. He showed it, but he didn't stop him, which is something that I thought that maybe he should have tried to do if he wouldn't
Or hurt him
showboating enough. But shout out to Barboza. He made the bell. The Haney fight again, that put me to sleep. And then the Ryan upset was just nasty work as well, man. Nasty work.
Yeah, this card just made me, oh man, just a freaking letdown. Like you said, like Friday night, it's like I'm gonna stay in, I'm gonna watch the boxing, and then this is what we get. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. On to tomorrow, brother. On to
Yep.
tomorrow. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Johnny.
All right, brother. That's my guy Alberto on the check-in. Let's see what the chat is saying, man. Shout out to Ebenezer Griffin, bro. Stunt man was in the building. Yeah, I agree with you, champ. I agree, man. Quinn DQ, what's going on, brother? Ryan and Haiti need each other. They both look terrible. I guess so. That's the thing, man. What do y'all think, man? Do y'all think they still are gonna fight in September now that Ryan lost? Because technically, when shit like this happens, and this is why I hate when they do this, man. I hate when they do this, man. We got a contract signed for September, but you two guys have to win on this card. I hate when boxing does that, and they do it all the time. Because more so than often, shit like this happens. So now what happens? I mean, we have heard in this past week, in this past lead up to this fight, that ROLLY really doesn't care about fighting Devin Haney next. He's made it clear, during the press conferences. So once he beats Ryan Garcia, which I didn't think was going to happen, but it did happen. And shout out to ROLLY, man. Great performance, man. I mean, he had a game plan and he stuck to it. He wasn't sloppy. He landed those double left hooks that put Ryan down. And I think Ryan at that point became gun shy, man. He felt ROLLY's power and he became gun shy. So shout out to ROLLY for that performance. You got to give credit what credit is due, bro. That's what we do here, man. We give credit where credit is due. But he's made it clear that he's not interested in a Devin Haney fight. Like, he feels like they should fight the rematch. So does it happen? Who knows? Again, supposedly there's a contract that's signed. Do the fans want to see it? I don't know. I mean, so that's going to be some questions that we're going to be able to ask ourselves and answer in the next week or two. Like, do we even want to see it based on what we saw this past today? So I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe you're right, Quinn DQ. Maybe you're right. Maybe they just produce good fights against each other, and they do need each other. But I don't know. Timothy Taylor, what's going on? Welcome aboard. Appreciate you. If you haven't smashed that like button, make sure you smash that like button. As it will help with the visibility of the channel. We got to get this channel out into the algorithm of the other boxing fans. Know we rock out during the week. This is a live show. We just decided to pop up based on what happened, tonight, on the Fatal Fury card. That's why you got to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, hit them notifications, man, and tell a friend to tell a friend. This is how we doing it up here at the Hangout spot. Keep the chat going, man. I want to see what y'all talking about. Timothy Taylor, what you got? Ryan Garcia is a racist steroid PED cheat. He had no muscles tonight because he had to be clean. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, this is the type of performance that's now going to open up the floodgates. Was that Devin Haney fight really, really a case of posturing? Because there's a lot of people, again, not me, but there's a lot of people that debate. Did it really matter? Did it play a part? Was it just a bad game plan by Devin Haney to not be able to stop the left hook? I mean, we're not scientists. We don't know, how much of a milliliter of a gram of ostarine is going to be able to, positively enhance, a boxer's performance. But we do know that it is a banned substance, a PED, a performance enhancing drug. And it's illegal. And he popped for it. And he was suspended. And the win was taken away from his record. It was a no contest. The loss was taken away from Devin Haney's record. And here we are. We wanted to think like leading up into this fight, Ryan's a clean fighter now. He's not the same Ryan that we saw leading up to the Devin Haney fight that was crashing out, that was drinking, that was partying, that I thought wouldn't even make it to fight night. Now all of a sudden we see this performance, right? So maybe it was the performance enhancing drugs. So again, this is a debate that's going to go on for a very, very long time, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. Maybe it was the ostarine that played a part in that. Skull is a flat-footed fighter and do not run Timothy Taylor. So you're talking about tomorrow with Canelo and Skull in the main event over at Saudi Arabia. Canelo going for undisputed for a second time at 168. I hope so, man. We need something, man. We need something because I just, again, as much as I was looking forward to these fights, they didn't deliver, man. They did not deliver for me. The phone lines are open. If y'all want to jump in and comment, man, the link is linked to the chat. I'll throw it out there again. If y'all want to come up to the panel and join me here at the Hangout spot, phone lines are open. I just put the link in the chat again. We got my man God did. What's going on, brother? If Ryan or Haney fought anyone in the top 5, they will both get knocked out. Again, neither one of them were impressive to me. Neither one of them were impressive to me. Definitely not at 147. I don't think either one of them were impressive to me at 147. I think they both fooled at 147. And I text that to my man Brian Oman Jr., the WBO welterweight champion. They ain't ready for that 147 smoke. Not with those performances. Not with those performances, man. I ain't gonna lie. At least I don't believe so. Quinn DQ, Tyson needs to be left off any commentary input. He's terrible. Again, the whole thing, bro. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I get the whole nostalgia and Tyson in New York and he's an icon, but bro, I mean, other than Jim Lampley, and I think I heard Jim Lampley a couple of times shit on the card itself because it just wasn't entertaining, bro. And that's something that Jim Lampley never really did when he was on HBO. But he's a legend. He could do that. Jim Lampley. Tarver's my dude, man. Tarver is my dude. He did all right, man. Tarver did all right, man. Tarver's my dude. Mike Coppinger, though, you couldn't do better than that? Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm sorry, man. Wax, what's going on, Wax? Welcome aboard, brother. One commentator called Rolly Ramirez.
This is nasty.
Bro, there was one, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Coppinger was giving his because Coppinger was actually the ringside score. And he had Rolly up or something like that. And when they put it on the screen, they had Ryan actually up. Like, they even mixed up the numbers, bro. And again, that's just being nitpicky. I ain't going to be nitpicky. I'm just saying, like, it's just, it was a lot going on, a lot left to be desired, man. A lot left to be desired. Like, I love the fact that what they were trying to pull off. I just don't know if I agree that it was pulled off to my expectations, or maybe to your expectations, or the expectations of the people. Like, my wife is not really even a boxing fan like that. She's a casual at best. She started to get into boxing now because of what I'm doing. And even she was like, this is kind of whack, but she wasn't even impressed. And she's a casual. You know, it's easier to impress casuals with all the visuals and shit. There was something about it that was off, man. Clarissa, what's going on, Clarissa? Plot twist, Rolly was on Austrian.
This is nasty.
That would be pretty crazy, man. That would be pretty crazy. Rolly on Austrian. I mean, if you look at him, though, I mean, the man, like I said, man, he is built like a natural welterweight, man. Rolly on Austrian, though. I don't know. Who knows, right? Who knows? God did. Nobody was even cheering for anyone on their ring walks. Exactly. I mean, those are the things that these were big fights on paper, and it just didn't give me a feeling of a big fight night, man. It just didn't give me that feeling, man. I don't know, man. Rolly versus Haney or Tio now. I don't know. We'll see. Listen, at the end of the day, upsets happen. Upsets are really good for boxing, actually. I didn't think this would be the upset, but I told y'all, I said I had a funny feeling there was going to be one upset. This is why I kept asking, you guys, the community, like, what you think, in your opinion, if I told you there'd be one upset, which fight would be the upset? And I think I had a couple callers yesterday that said it could be Ryan and Rolly. Shout out to my man Clarence McLean, man, from No Ducks On podcast. He said it. He said it in his calling. He said people think that Ryan's just going to walk over Rolly, man. He didn't see that happening. Shout out to Clarence, man. If Clarence was on, I'd get him on, man. If he was home, I'd get him on, man. But he was actually out there. And shout out to everybody that went out there. I think Marco went out there. Clarence went out there. A bunch of my people went out there. Shout out to y'all, man. Because y'all got a chance to witness history. Even though we weren't satisfied with the end result, we got a chance to witness history. So shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Let's go back to the phone lines. I got my man Wax in the building. What's going on, Wax?
Oh man, that was something. That card was not as lived. I think the hype was not as. I could even drink. I wasn't able to drink my whiskey, man. It was just like, dang.
Oh man, that's crazy, man. But so tell me, man, like what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? And what do you think about the upset at the end?
Credit to Rolly, like you said at the beginning, because everyone was writing him off. Thought he was gonna get knocked out. So, I don't know exactly what doors it exactly opens for him. I know, like, I did hear that he said he wants Ryan and Haney to get the rematch. He doesn't care to fight Devin Haney, like you said. But that credit to him, because they'd open some door for him. Ryan, on the other end, I don't know where his head's at, but
I don't know, man. That was I was puzzled by that performance. Again, he had been out of the ring for a year. I'm not the type of guy that's going to utilize that as an excuse. He was the bigger guy, the more skillful guy out of the two. I was fully expecting him to stop Rolly, a guy who had been stopped a couple of times coming into this fight. But shout out to Rolly. He came in great physical shape, and he had a good game plan, man. That right hand was just glued to the side of his face. He was so cautious about not getting hit with that left hook, and he did what he needed to do. He outboxed Ryan, man. I didn't see that coming. But shout out to him, man.
I'm also mad that I bet on Barboza and Ramirez because they were underdogs. Their return was fine. I didn't bet on Rolly though, and he's the only.
Man, you bet on the wrong one. Cause Rolly made a lot of people money tonight, man.
Yeah,
he made a lot of people money, man. Shout out to Rolly, man.
I was like, wow, missed out there. Hey, lesson learned though. Well, underdogs in the future. I'm gonna be looking out.
This is boxing, man. Unfortunately, this is the world of boxing, and upsets are good for boxing. Upsets are good for boxing, man. But it just shook up a fight that realistically all of us fight fans were well, most of us fight fans were excited about in September, right? The rematch, right?
Hey, I hope that still happens. I want to see that, despite what we saw. Because
Mhm.
what you said earlier is like about how they they agreed before the fight to sign the con. I don't like that either, because remember Joshua and Wilder did the same thing,
Yep.
and Wilder lost to Parker, and I was like, that fight's not even happening anymore. I was just like, ah. So, I think the fight should still happen, whether it is in September or not. In case they gets pushed back or whatever, because Ryan, we don't know where Ryan is at the moment. But hey, I don't know how many people want it, but hey, I want to see that, see where both of them are with the rematch.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Like I said, this is boxing. But I'll be interesting to hear what everybody else thinks in the chat. We do got some more callers, man.
Yeah,
That
of course.
that we
Let them
need to
hop
get
on.
to.
I said my little piece.
Nah, I appreciate you, my brother. Thanks for calling in, bro. We going to do our call-in show on Monday as well. I just figured I needed to come out here and blow a little bit of steam and get
Oh,
everybody
hey, yeah.
who needs to blow some
Unexpected
steam to
show,
blow
but I
some
was
steam.
like, hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah, we going live Monday night. We're gonna do a call-in show, but we're just gonna do a little bit today. But I got some more callers, brother.
Yeah. See. I let them have their say.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Wax.
Right, no problem.
All right, that's my brother Wax. Now let's go back to the call-in. We got my man CJ Rich in the building. Talk to me, champ. What's going on?
Johnny, what it be? Andale pues. What happened, champ? What's going
Oh,
on?
I don't know, man. Listen, that main event just shocked the shit out of me. I'm not a Ryan lover like that, so I'm not like head over heels over it. But I'm more about the fight card in itself, man. To me, it just didn't deliver what I thought it was gonna deliver, man. Am I right? Am I capping? Or what do you think about the fight card, man?
No, I'm right there with you in terms of the quality of fights. It was somewhat underwhelming because, I mean, it was, in my opinion, it was oversold, if you will. Like, okay, we got these big names on the card, but it ain't like they fighting each other, so you ain't gonna see the big time fireworks. Obviously, Devin was underwhelming, and then to see Ryan get upset, that was not what folks were expecting. So, yeah, man, and hey, shout out Marco, man. I got put on to you through Marco, so I always gotta shout him out when he right. But he said, man, I hate this because what if one of them lose before the rematch? It should have just went at it right away, and he couldn't be more right now, right? Because Devin was underwhelming, and then Ryan outright lost. So a lot of that buzz, a lot of the spice is off of that. So disappointing for the fans, man. And I feel you. A good spectacle to have it out in Times Square. Hopefully the rest of the fight weekend is a little bit better quality, but I can't see it because we already expected Canelo and Inoue to be lopsided matches. So I think this weekend unfortunately is going to disappoint overall. How you feel about that?
Man, I mean, it hurts my heart to hear that because you're saying what I'm feeling.
That's
And
real
I'm
shit.
hoping that one of y'all talk me off the ledge and say, Johnny, you
Uh,
wrong. Johnny, have some faith. Tomorrow's gonna be a better day, man. But y'all
yeah,
saying what
yeah.
I'm feeling. I feel the same way, CJ. Like, but again, I didn't think that this night would disappoint me, right? And I
That
can't
was
say
supposed to be the
Antonio's
best
gonna
night.
fight
That's what
that.
I'm saying, man. If I'm sorry to cut you off, but if this
Oh,
supposed
you
to be
good.
the best night and that underwhelmed, how you going? Only way we could like, I don't know, make up for it. Had to be a huge upset. Had to be a fucking Skull over Canelo or the oh boy, I forget his name right now, with the R, over Inoue. So that's the
Hmm.
only way we can make up for this, man. It's just gonna be boring. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the fans. It was a letdown, but it was interesting, man. But yeah, disappointing, man. Yeah, obviously my predictions ain't come through. What did I say? I said Barbosa. I said Devin with the stoppage. He did win, but he didn't get no stoppage. And I said Ryan in 7. Obviously that didn't happen. So, hey man. But I got them Tyson gloves from Marco, man. So shout out.
Good for you,
Actually, I
man.
got
Good for
gifted.
you.
Shout out to I think it was Yayin. Yayin actually won it, and I put in so much work over there, man. So many hundreds of dollars of raffle entries. They gave me the gloves, man. So I'm gonna be happy to have them. But Yeah, that's the only good thing about this fight weekend to me.
You deserve it, my brother. You deserve it. But listen, we're gonna keep our head up, right? Because you never know. This is boxing, bro. This is
Right, right.
boxing. We may come back here tomorrow night because we're gonna probably do another live tomorrow night after that card and say, "Wow, you see what I'm saying? This was what we were supposed to see on Friday." So you never know, bro.
Could be, could be. You're right. I got to keep my head up and hope for the best. You're right. All right, I feel it.
Let's keep our head up. Let's keep our head up. I appreciate you, my brother. I got some other callers to get to.
Hey, for sure. Salute. Thanks for having
All
me
right,
on.
man. Make sure you
Peace.
keep tuning in, brother. Keep tuning in. I appreciate
Yep.
you, man. That's my brother CJ Rich in the building. We going back to the phone lines. Make sure y'all keep the chat cooking. Hit that like button and make sure you tell a friend and subscribe to the Hangout spot. This is how we do it up. I got my brother Mikhail in the building. Mikhail, am I capping, bro? I mean, I'm a little disappointed, man. Am I justified to be disappointed? Or are you telling me what? Talk to me, man. Talk to me. I need some therapy, man.
Man, you need some therapy. I'm in the
Okay.
middle of a sparring session, about to die, and this is what I gotta look out the ring and see is, is these trash. That was a trash card. That was terrible. As far as the quality, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Rolly and Ryan delivered an exciting fight. If it was on a different card, you know what I mean? That would have been like a great undercard fight. That wasn't a great main event fight for real. Like it just wasn't climactic. And
Great point.
I think honestly, because of the thing, he knocked him down. And then outside of that, it's really just, Rolly fought a good fight, a good solid fight down the stretch. But I think it was more a product of Ryan fighting the wrong fight. And I've been there. And it's hard because you just got knocked down in a fight that you're supposed to dominate, in a fight that you got to do better skills. And so now everything's tight. Every punch you're trying to make hard. And the thing that Ryan really needed to do was just let his hands go. He just needed to let combinations go, let his jab flick, bounce around a little bit. Every time it was, let me try that. I got to try to get it back. And let me try to and you're loading just 1 second too long. And guess what? Rolly sees it. Up. Okay, here comes the hook. Up. Up. Here comes this. Here comes that. Because he has so many advantages in that fight that he should have been able to come. And my thing was because when the knockdown happened, everybody's like, "Oh," I'm like, all right, listen. I said early Rolly would be dangerous, and I thought that it was possible that Ryan could get knocked down or dropped to the body.
You did
But
say
my
that.
thing, but my thing was this: that would be early. And as long as Ryan kept his head on his shoulders and he had matured like we were hoping up to this point, he would still be able to overwhelm him and outbox him. And hopefully maybe carry his power late and get a finish. But I figured he would still be able to win on points even with the knockdown. And he fought the wrong fight. That's just what it comes down to. He tried to go out there and felt like he had to knock Rolly down or knock Rolly out. And when you're trying to knock someone out, you never will. You just never will. They don't come like that. When you're trying to hurt somebody, you won't hurt them. It just don't work like that. It just don't. And I've been in a fight like that, and everything's off rhythm, and the punches you're trying to land hard don't land hard, and it don't happen at the right time, and they moving it. They just and you just get more frustrated, more tight. So the longer the fight goes on, it's almost like the worse you get. And that's what I felt like I saw in there was just Ryan knowing that he had enough skill to get this guy out of here and win the fight and not being able to put it together because he was trying. And that the crazy part? Like he couldn't do it because he was trying. And it's just a lesson for Ryan. I think Ryan's gonna still be a solid fighter. He's still gonna be a draw. Um, the fight with Devin Haney's still gonna happen. And I think that's the bigger point of the card for real. Yes, saying Ryan went in there with a puncher and he got knocked down and he looked underwhelming in his performance in the rest of the fight. But Devin Haney looked gun shy. He looked bad with a guy in front of him that wasn't dangerous. Like his foot speed was terrible. He could never catch up to him. He was barely throwing punches himself. And it was at certain points just like, why are you running, Devin? There's nothing to even run from. He ain't throwing nothing. Like, what is you running for? At this point, you running to run. And it was just, I never saw Devin get comfortable. Like I expected the first and second round to look like it looked for that nervous energy because I just know what it feel like. I know what it feel like to get hurt in the ring and have to go back in. It's different losing and having to go back in, but to get hurt and have to go back in, it makes you question yourself. Like, am I hurtable? You know what I'm saying? Like, can another guy do me? Like, I can, okay, I don't know. And so you question. And for me, it typically takes for me to hit something, land something, and for me to get hit. And okay, it's a fight. You just gonna have to do what you're gonna have to do. And I never saw that you're gonna have to do what you're gonna have to do moment with Haney. Like, okay, it's a fight. I've been doing this. All right, let's go, let's fight. Every time I thought I kind of saw it, okay, here he goes. Okay, here he would go right back, cautious again. And styles make fights, man. Styles make fights. So I just don't know how a rematch would look. I think a rematch is still necessary. And I don't think anybody really came out better for wear tonight. I think Turkey Al Sheik mishandled this promotion this time. You know, you think that you're getting a build up to make the rematch a mega fight. You know, Devin Haney comes out, crushes his opponent. You know, Garcia comes out, crushes Rolly, and here we go. They ready to lock horns again. Let's get it. Yeah, they did they little tune ups and let's go. It didn't go
I
like
agree.
that.
It backfired. It definitely backfired. This is why I hate when they sign future fights, before two guys, fighting other guys, right? So,
Yeah,
it is
and
what
they
it
still
is.
got. And the crazy part, they still the thing. That's why I said it's like he kind of shot himself in the foot because they still got to do the rematch. They still have to fight.
I think they will.
But
Yeah, no, I think they will because I think
now
it's
are we?
something that you're saying. We'll demand it.
Yeah, but now are we as excited about it though?
Exactly. Exactly, man. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, man. No, listen, I love your takes, man. I want to get to some other callers, bro.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
love
sir. Thank you, sir.
No, man, you're always welcome. We gotta come back Monday night. We doing live show, so I need you back up in here.
Monday night. Monday night. I'll be fresh off of sparring again. Hopefully, I'll be a little bit worse, better for
Get
wear.
that,
'Cause
get that
today
work
was
in, my
rough.
brother. Get that
Yeah.
work in. All right, man. That's my brother
All right.
Mikhail in the building, man. We going back out to the phone lines. We cooking. Make sure y'all keep the chat going. If y'all want something to be read, though, again, the chat's cooking, man. I cannot go through all the comments, bro. The best way to do that is super chat it if you want to make sure it's read. Those come out as a starred message. But we going back out to the phone lines. We got my man Jersey Bob in the building. Jersey Bob, what's going on? You got your five, bro, on the hangout spot.
What's up? You hear me?
Chilling. Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. What you think about tonight?
Man, my son came came from Philly to watch. A couple of other young boys came over, man. Everybody was disappointed, man. Them two fights was terrible. Them fights were and they missed Tio. I was only gonna watch Tio. They got there after Tio fought. Tio put on a show, but them fights, oh my goodness, that was awful. Awful, man. Devin, man, yo, Ramirez been washed. Yo, for real. Ramirez wasn't even a threat, and Devin was running. They talk about Shakur. No, yo, better never talk about Shakur again. Was Haney running? Was he running, Johnny?
Yeah, man. He was doing a lot
From
of
a dude that
movement,
wasn't
a
even
lot
a
of
threat.
punching, bro.
Ramirez had nothing. Ramirez had nothing. Haney was
He was
running
right
from that
there. He
dude.
was right there in front of him, and he was not taking advantage of it. One hit and just moving, moving.
Yeah, that was awful. And then Ryan, I mean, yo, I never thought Rolly. Yo, the trainer, get a trainer credit, man. Dude said keep the hand up. Yo, Rolly fought discipline. He won the fight. He's still not a good fighter to me. He won the fight though, but I mean Ryan was just awful. Let's just call it what it is. Ryan was terrible. One punch. He just, man, it was bad. But
Absolutely.
yo, you know what's great? We got fights tomorrow and Sunday, and that's the thing
Yeah,
with boxing. You got
I know, but Bob, man, you know the deal. This was the night that I was looking forward to. I think most of us on paper, right? We had never seen this whole Times Square deal. The car, the fights on paper were supposed to be fire, and it's like I walked away from that like, oh man, like what just happened? You know what I mean?
yeah, it's boxing, man. Like I never expected last week for them two guys to put on a show. I didn't expect that.
True,
So
very true.
you never know with boxing. So I think tomorrow we're gonna be some fights that surprise people. But man, it like you said, when we people like marinate the fights, they should have just put Haney and in there with Ryan. Them two should have just fought each other. That's the bottom line. They
I
probably would
agree.
have fought a lot better fighting each other.
I agree,
That's,
man. I agree,
so,
man.
but that's about it, man. It's boxing, man. It happens, man. But yo, I'm telling you, man, Haney, man, is it over for him
I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, listen, at least he won, right? So, it's easier to come back from a win than it
against
is
a
to try.
mummy?
I know. No, listen,
Yo,
I'm not
stop,
justifying it.
man.
I'm just saying, like,
That
I don't know, man. These are all questions that are good questions that are going to need to be answered, man. I wasn't impressed with either one of them.
is
So,
is
you
that
know,
really a win? Because Ramirez, man, yo, he needs to stop. That's why I say the Ness, man. I hate bringing up Ness on your shit. You keep one of these old guys to fight, man. Stop with these old guys, man. Ramirez, I don't know care how old he is. The dude look like he's 60 years old. He shouldn't be fighting anymore. Get out the ring, man. Dude is washed. So Haney won against him. That don't prove anything. Nothing. But at least for Haney's sake, he got in the ring and won. At least he won. Ryan ain't win.
for
So
sure. No,
I
for
mean,
sure.
where's Haney go from here though? You better not put him in with Boots ever. I mean, like, he better not get in the ring with Jerron Boots Ennis ever in his life. Oh my goodness, he gonna get destroyed.
Mm,
So I don't know who he fights. I'm gonna get off. Maybe I don't know if you suggested somebody. I have no idea who Haney fights next.
I
I
don't
couldn't
know.
even give you a name. I'm serious. Like you can't fight. He better not go in there with a puncher. You better not put him in the ring with a puncher. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
Cause that brother's scared.
my prediction is they go ahead and they do that fight regardless. They're gonna do that fight regardless against he's gonna do the Ryan fight regardless. That's just my prediction. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll let it marinate and see where it goes. But I'm with you, Bob. I hope this weekend salvages, what I thought was gonna be an epic I'm sorry, an epic fight weekend. So we'll see. Time will tell.
And one thing, the Rockets is whooping Gold State's behind. So that's going
I know
game
you all
seven.
over that. I know you, I be thinking about you, man. I be
Yeah,
thinking about you watching the games, man. But yo, you my guy, bro.
yeah. All right, man. You
You're my
keep take
guy.
it easy, man. I'll talk to you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yep. We're gonna go live
All right.
tomorrow, probably after that card. So make sure you tune in, man. I got some other callers, bro. Appreciate you, brother.
All right. Later.
Later, man. My brother Jersey Bob. We're going back out to the phone lines. My man Mo Brains is in the building. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's good, Johnny? I'm at work still, so if I hop off suddenly for no reason, I probably got like a emergency call or something. But I did get to see the main event fights. I saw the last 6 rounds of the Tio Barboza fight, and I got to tell you, man, I thought Tio stole the show. I thought he was the only one who delivered what was expected of him. He just showed he was just a level above Barboza at every step. Everything Barboza tried to do, nope, he was one step ahead of him the whole fight. And yeah, he was just too athletic. It was like an A-class fighter giving a lesson to a B-class fighter, and straight up and down, just too athletic, too young, too agile, slipping, countering, showboating. I mean, and like everybody said, he deserved to be the main event. He was the only real champion on the card. and he was the only one who really did anything to sell this whole event the whole time with the goofy ass salsa dancing and the masks and all this shit. And I mean, it worked because everybody talked about him. I mean, even the thing with it was like who was it, him or his sister? They had like some altercation with Crawford or some shit. I thought he stole the show and he should have been the main event. And yeah, he did great. I hope he gets something out of this, dude. I hope he's not weighed down by the Devin Haney and the Ryan fights. But I mean, as far as for the next fight, as far as Devin Haney, look, man, I'm from the Bay Area. I grew up like 20 minutes from Oakland. I paid money to go see him fight Prograis. I was cheering for him. I was cheering for him against Loma. I was a fan. But this performance was an absolute fucking disgrace. Like, it was like, Jesus, dude. Way to phone it in and just don't give a shit about the ring, about Turkey, about this historic event. I mean, could you imagine if Devin blew out Ramirez and just chinned him and just knocked him out, and then now how that would look compared to Ryan? Just imagine.
Great point. Great point.
Yeah, man, it was absolutely disgrace. So disappointing. So disappointed in Devin Haney. I'm just like, man, and it just goes to show that this is what happens when a fighter is matched carefully their whole career and they finally fight. Same thing with Ryan. He finally fought someone who was the same age, who had the same comparable height and reach, and then the same thing here with Ramirez. Not even, I mean, not age wise, but same thing, height and reach, comparable. There were rumors that it's like a smaller ring or like an 18-foot ring. Who the fuck knows if that's true? But even then, he just went in there and just phoned it in, man. Get his easy paycheck, and that's fine. I mean, I think that's great. Hey, if that's how he can win and he can do that, more power to him. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to pay for that. And that makes me never, ever, ever want to spend a single dime on anything Devin Haney related ever again. Like, if this dude comes back at the Chase Center after the fucking Warriors get washed out against the Rockets or whatever, and he expects to come home and to get like a victory lap, I'm not paying fucking $1,500 to see this dude. Fuck no, garbage, trash. Pack him up, get him out of boxing. And as far as the Ryan fight, I was interested in it. I thought it delivered in a sense where, to me, it was like a chess match between two people who know each other well enough, where it's became evident to me that Ryan was he's just been a front runner his whole career, and he doesn't he like, there's nothing in the warehouse where he can dig deep or find a way, you know what I mean? Like, if he's not whooping on the dude, if he doesn't have the speed advantage over him or the strength advantage over him, that's it. He's not gonna find a way. It's like he's got nothing there, man. Like, he's got nothing behind those eyes. Every time he tried to make an adjustment or set something up, Rolly was there to disrupt his rhythm or go to the body or counter. What really was surprising to me was how disciplined Rolly was. I thought at some point, he's just gonna, like, we all thought he was just gonna go in there, try to bulldoze him, and get cold cocked with a fucking piping hot left hook that Ryan catches everybody with. But no, he was in there. He was pot shotting him to the body. He was winning on the cards, just running away with it after that. After the knockdown in the second round, and yeah, I mean, props to Rolly, dude. This is one of the biggest upset. This is probably the biggest upset since Munguia, since he got fucking chinned by that French dude, and disappointed in Ryan. And honestly, that performance, like, in the latter half of the fight, you go to the corner and there's no instruction, there's no strategy. It's literally just Derek James just trying to pep talk Ryan. Like, he knows there's something wrong with this kid, and he's just trying to get something out of him, but nothing, man. Like, he's just, I don't know. I think he's gone, man. I think he just showed up for the paycheck, and it's like, all right. And as a fan, for real, the same thing with the Jared Anderson situation. I would rather see this dude retire, start a podcast, become an Instagram model or whatever than him go out there, put a performance against someone who can really hurt this dude, and then him end up in a fucking wheelchair like Gerald McClellan or because he got kids and a wife apparently. So I mean, I don't
I
know.
hear that. Nah,
What do you think about that, Johnny? You think he still has something left in him?
listen, man. We live in a day and age where we're quick to do that. Nah, he's still young, man. Let's see. You got to remember, man. He's been out of the ring for a year, and again, this is not an excuse. I give Rolly his credit. I picked Ryan to stop him. He didn't do it. Rolly did what he did, stuck to the game plan. I mean, he kept that right hand, glued to the side of his face so he didn't get hit with the left hook, and he did it. So I give him credit. But no, I got to see a little bit more before I throw him to the curb. That's just me. But nah, that was a great take, bro. Great absolute take, man. I love it. You got to continue to call in, bro. You got to continue to call in. We're gonna go live tomorrow after the Canelo Skull, so make sure you check in with us. All right.
All right, for sure, Johnny. Have a good one, man.
You got it, bro. I want to take another call here. That's my brother Mo Brains in the building. What's going on? Yo, make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We're going back to the phone lines. My brother at Fight Sport Talk. What's going on, champ?
What's up, Johnny? Thanks for having me back on, man. And yeah, I've been listening and trying to think of what else I can add. I have to disagree a little bit with what some people are saying about Garcia. I don't now. I know this is a in the moment sort of thing, but sort of reaction, but I don't feel he could have looked worse than he did because here's the thing: we know Garcia is a head case. We know that sometimes he can lose focus in fights. We've seen him give up in fights against Tank, but this was not the guy to do it against. Like Rolly was he was so tailor made for Garcia that it really. Sorry, I'm just driving at the moment. He should have never been looking this gun shy against a guy of that level. So I don't. I feel like he has kind of thrown his whole career away, and I know that sounds harsh, but I just feel when you do it, I mean, this was all set up for him to look good. Perfect opponent, main event, and he got dropped, and then he went into a shell. So it is what it is. Now, I don't feel Haney did himself any favors either because, as I said on your show before the fight, Ramirez was pretty much tailor made for him. Slow, doesn't set shots up very well, squares up a lot, doesn't have good defense. So really, Haney had plenty of opportunities to do a lot more than he did, and he just chose the path of least resistance. Now, Garcia did the same thing, so Haney does deserve credit for getting the win when Garcia got schooled, but it was one of those things where, because you took the path of least resistance, people are going to criticize you for that. And Tio, it wasn't a fun fight to watch, but he looked really good against a tough opponent, and you know he had the toughest fight going into this card, so give him credit there. And he looked, like he was enjoying himself, which is a good thing. But yeah, I I got some flack for this. I feel that since Garcia lost, you now is the time to make Haney versus Tio, even though Haney's fight was boring. I feel they were both on the same card. They both fought similar weights to each other. They both won convincingly. So I think you have to make that fight now.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean the card in general, it's unfortunate because a lot of people they've been saying they've been critiquing what Turkey's been doing, and fair or unfair, there's no one's perfect, everyone deserves to be critiqued, but after this Turkey's going to get a real tough time from a lot of fans because the fights weren't very good. And I heard somebody on your show before I got on saying that in that the rest of these fights are predictable with Canelo and Skull and Inoue and Cardenas, and I agree with him. Inoue's going to look spectacular like he always does, but yeah, a lot of the mystery has kind of. I'm not going to say it's gone away because Bacoli at Jagbo, that's a really good fight, and we'll see what Munguia can do against Was because he's got demons to overcome. So there's a lot of mystery there, but the main fights, yeah, this one was supposed to be, the biggest card, and yeah, it's unfortunate. I think I don't know if I liked what they did with and a lot of people who were at the event were saying it probably wasn't a good thing to do it where they did, because I mean just the entrances alone were tough because you're doing it in the middle of Times Square. Like it's kind of like Turkey tried to come up with a new way to make a cake, and it's like you can stick with the old way. That's fine.
I agree. I agree. Listen, they try to. This is how I looked at it, right? They try to, they try to hit a home run here. They try to reach for the stars, and the concept of it was great. I'm not gonna shit on it, right? We were all excited about it, but then when we saw it play out, it just it just didn't feel like what I was expecting. That's just me. You know what I mean? But I'm looking at it also from a guy who's a traditionalist. I'm old school, right? I would have preferred these fights to be in an arena with 10,000, 12,000 people screaming when they announced Michael Buffer said, let's get ready to rumble. Like there was no crowd noise. It was almost like it was I don't know, man. It's just and then again, so regardless of that, I'm hoping the fights delivered, right? And it just overshadowed that and the fights didn't deliver. So to me, that was like a double whammy.
It was a double whammy, and the thing is, y- we can't we can't criticize, or we can criticize events in Saudi Arabia feeling like they have no atmosphere, but it is what it is. It's what you get when you go to a small arena like that. But yeah, you come to the States, and it seemed like Turkey was trying something new. Now, I can't begrudge somebody for doing that. But like you said, it was just completely unnecessary. Like it's not rocket science. You pick out an arena, you fill it up, and there's atmosphere. Now, in hindsight, the fans would have been bored because because the fights weren't very entertaining. But yeah, Turkey, I just feel he completely not a little bit. I feel he completely missed the ball with this one because I mean, what was the point? What was the point in having a small? Well, not a small. You do it in the public, but you invite a bunch of rich people. You don't make it easy for the public to access, and I mean the entrances in the cars, like that was just again completely. It was completely unnecessary. And yeah, Turkey, he's going to have a lot to. I wouldn't say answer for, but he's really going to have to look at himself and say, well, this is one where I just didn't get it right because, like you said, it's not even about being old school or whatever. Atmosphere is what really matters, and there wasn't. You can't help it when the arenas in Saudi don't have atmosphere because there's no one there. But this one, yeah, it was just a bad call.
Yeah, man. Listen, again, I'm not knocking the event. I like when what Turkey is doing. I've said this. I think he's good for boxing. What he's trying to do. He's a boxing fan at the end of the day, so he's trying to pit the best against the best, and he's putting together events that I mean, even it'll more than likely it'll also draw the casual fan in as well, right? Because it's intriguing. Even the stuff that he does in Saudi Arabia, I'm not really crazy about the whole concerts. Remember, he usually puts a concert in there or something like that before the main event. I'm not big on that stuff, but there are fight fans, especially casuals that like that stuff. So I get it. Whatever it is to grow the sport of boxing, I'm not going to crap on it. And I'm not going to crap on this. I think it was a really good attempt. I like it. Like I said, looking forward to it. We were all, hyped about it. We had never seen it before, but then seeing it today, I was like, damn, well, was like, should I have been as excited about this? I don't know. That's just me. Like I said, I'm not
Yeah,
trying to crap on it. That's just me.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we weren't really, or at least I wasn't sure of how this was going to pan out because we hadn't seen this before. I thought, okay, day event during the day in the middle of Times Square, shielded off, and they do it literally in the center. I was like, this is interesting, but yeah, I mean, it was kind of you mentioned concerts. This was like bringing Eminem out to Terence Crawford versus Madrimov. Like it was just wasn't necessary. And with the fights, like sometimes the fights just don't deliver. It is what it is. You can't hit lightning in a bottle every time.
Sure.
Um, but with this and with this one, I really feel like Turkey can't be criticized too much for the matchmaking because I mean Teo Barboza, that was a good contender fight, a good fight between a champion and a top contender. and we've already seen it. Teo's not the puncher he was at lightweight, so he boxes a lot more. And, Haney against Ramirez, I was hoping Ramirez was going to force more out of him. But again, Haney, he took the path of least resistance, no problem, but it was boring. But Garcia and Romero, like, it seemed, at least to me, that he was picking the almost guaranteed win for Garcia, where he would look good with a knockout, because Rolly should have never been in there with Garcia, but you can't imagine somebody's going to underperform like that, and yeah, so it's just one of those things where sometimes things just don't go very well, and I have to give give a shout out to the events that have done well, like Usyk Fury 1. That was a really good fight. The Madrimov Crawford fight, the vast majority of fights on that card were barn burners, like Ruiz and Miller. Bacoli destroyed Anderson. There were really good fights on that card. This was just one which it, the bad ones unfortunately are going to stick out a lot more. And
Right.
yeah, but I do feel, again, like, if there is one, if there's a good storyline from this fight, again, from this event, I do feel it's Haney Lopez, because again, regardless of how the fights weren't that exciting, those guys hate each other. So I do feel, now that you got them on the same card and they won decisively, I do think you kind of need to make that fight.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, man. No, that's an excellent point, and I think you're right to your point. I think they had a plan in place to make everybody look good and shine, and it just didn't work out that way. But that's the sport of boxing, bro. That's the sport of boxing. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. My brother's fight. You are the man, bro. I love your calls, man. You got to continue to keep calling in, man.
Thanks, Johnny. We'll catch up later.
Yep.
All the best, bro.
We'll probably be back on tomorrow, man.
Thanks, man. I will call in then. Peace out.
Appreciate you, man. That's my brother Fight Sport Talk, man. I let him cook a little longer. Obviously, there's nobody in the back room right now. But we usually do, when there's people waiting, we do a 5-minute call. Just so we could keep the phone lines rolling. Now's the time to call. There's nobody in the back room if you want to get in and voice your opinion on tonight. I was looking at some comments. Pink Car 06 said this event and card is a C- and D at best. Again, it was in totality. I agree with that. She's looking at it in totality, the event and the card. The card on paper was an A. I mean, the card on paper was an A. Okay, the way it played out, yeah, D at best, probably. And then the event, again, I think they could have done things a lot different. I just think they could have did a lot different, from the commentary to the presentation. They closed it off. They had people on the other side of the street on 42nd Street barricaded off. I thought this thing, again, might have been closed off, with a fence that you can actually see through. Shout out to all the people that worked in the office buildings, in Times Square, that were able to see it from the office buildings on down. That must have been dope. But it was something that never been done before, so I appreciate it, and it was good to see. But it just to me, again, my biggest thing, is the energy. Like my man Fight said, the energy. It just didn't seem like there was a lot of energy. Like I said, you got Jim Lampley, calling this fight. You got Michael Buffer, the ring announcer, who was calling the main events, and then you had, obviously, my man David Diamante, who was the ring announcer for the other fights on the card. There wasn't a lot of crowd noise and bravado. And, they tried with the whole thing with Ryan coming in the Batmobile or whatever. I get that whole piece of it, and I appreciate the effort. But it just, like I said, it was that. I would have forgotten about all of that. I would have totally forgotten about all of that had the fights delivered. But at the end of the day, that's boxing. Sometimes, how many times have we seen good fights on paper that just don't materialize? They just don't materialize. It happens all the time. This is boxing. This is boxing. But we got my man CJ Rich with the $5 super chat.
Straight cash, homie.
Appreciate the donation, my brother. This result lends credence to Osterine being the X factor. If it were a skill difference, Ryan would have dominated a simple style like Rolly's. Again, you can't argue. This is what happens. Had Ryan went out there and cooked Rolly like we all thought he was going to do and knock him out within 3 or 4 rounds. This is a guy who had been stopped by Pitbull. We would have probably been able to say, you know what? Osterine, Osterine. He just came out from a year-long suspension, in a higher weight class. He looks good. He looks clean. He came into the press conference with a shirt and a tie and a jacket. Osterine ain't playing no part in that Devin Haney thing. Hell no. But now, yeah, who knows? Probably did. I mean, listen, this is what it is. This is what it is, man. So I don't know. Like I said, listen, I was just disappointed at the entire night. I was hoping that the Ryan Rolly fight just saved the entire card. Going into that fight, I told my wife, I said, hopefully this fight, wakes me up, because the other two, and shout out to Tio. I'm not trying to diss Tio's performance. I thought Tio did very, very well. Tio showed a lot of different levels in that fight. The only criticism I have about Tio is what I always say. Tio, to me, is more concerned with being a showman than a guy that's just going just boots to ground, go in there and grind. Like the Tio that fought against Lomachenko is the Tio that I want to see against everybody. That Tio is a problem against anybody. The skill level is there, the athleticism. I know he's not the greatest dude in the world. He's a shithead, with some of the things he says, his antics. I'm not talking about all that extracurricular shit. I don't absolve that. I don't promote that. We don't do that here at the Hangout spot. That's not how we do it up here. But the fighter himself in the ring, skill-wise, But, yeah, I was expecting him to do what he did and possibly, step on the gas pedal a little bit more and maybe possibly push for a stoppage in the second half of that fight against Barboza. Barboza was game, but Barboza looked very basic in this fight. He just looked very, very basic. Like Tio was a level ahead of him. And again, Tio was more satisfied with looking like a showman instead of just going in there and looking like the better fighter to put his foot on the gas and try to stop Barboza. So, it is what it is. You got my man Mo Brains. I disagree. Ryan is skilled. Nah, Ryan is a skilled fighter. Ryan's a skilled fighter, man. But Mo, you gotta be honest. Now the floodgates are open now. Now the floodgates are open based on this performance. This was a guy that everybody thought Ryan should walk over. At least me. I mean, there were people out there that actually were saying that Rolly was going to pose a threat and Rolly could possibly upset him. I wasn't buying it, but there were a lot of people like myself who thought that Ryan skill level, was much better than Rolly's skill level. And tonight, Rolly looked like the more skillful fighter, with the man with a plan that stood with the game plan, and it worked. I'm still baffled over it, man. That performance made me do this freaking live. Made me do this live. That's crazy. I had to come out here and take some phone calls, man. I had to come out here and vent. That performance, I was hoping that last fight would say, okay, well, the other two were subpar, and there was a lot of issues with the whole thing with the Times Square and stuff. But the last fight delivered, man. It just did it, And like I said, the reason why was because I wasn't expecting to see what I saw. Either way, it is what it is. Based on natural talent, Ryan should have dominated, but he seemed checked out. Yeah, I don't know, Mo. I don't know. I mean, he was saying all the right things in the press conferences leading up, and now I'm beyond all those crash out days, and now I'm Ryan, the clean Ryan, the role model Ryan. He even dressed with a shirt and a tie. I don't know, man. He said Barboza was excellent. He just didn't have enough to outbox Tio. I mean, there was just a level, and to me, there was just a skill level gap there, man. Tio was just a much more skillful fighter, man. Much more skillful fighter. Alberto said Mexico went over 3 tonight. I'm mad. Oh shit. The thing is New York City government is who shut down the public being able to attend. You're probably right. You're absolutely right. I don't doubt that at all, Mikhail. But these are the things you got to consider before you put together something like this. Let's not forget, the rumor is that July 12th, when Edgar Berlanga headlines against Hamza Shiraz and you got Shakur Stevenson against William Zepeda. Shout out to them too. They actually did a face-off today. They were at the at the event today, and I saw a little bit of a little clip during the early part of the presentation where they did a face-off. So that fight is going down on that same card with Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Shiraz, July 12th. I'm hearing that should be in Central Park. So here we are. Another thing that's never been done before. How did they pull that one off? They got to work on the presentation and maybe adding some more people in there so there could be some more energy and some more cheering, man. Again, I'm a dude. I've been to big fights in arenas. There's nothing like that energy, man. There's nothing like that energy when you got a guy like Michael Buffer that says, let's get ready to rumble. You guys have seen it on the TV if you have not been to a live event during a Tank fight, a Canelo fight, the main event. The energy is insane. I didn't feel that energy outdoors. There weren't that many people that were closed off in this thing, man. If there were 300 people, I'd be surprised. Maybe 300 people. I can't wait to get Marco's take on it. Marco was actually there. Bro. I can't wait to get his take on the energy and how it was. I mean, I don't know. I didn't feel it on the TV, but maybe it was a little bit better while, live. He'd be able to give his take. Bo Bray said we need Rolly versus Boots Norman. I text my brother Brian Norman Jr. during that thing, man, and I said, bro, none of these dudes are ready for you at 147. I'm sorry. That's right. I said it. Any one of them dudes want that smoke with my man B. Norm Jr., the assassin, bro. He ready. Shout out to him, man. This Sunday, he's heading out to Big Bear. Training camp is in full effect. We're going to try to catch up with the champ before his fight. I'm going to try to spend a day with the champ at training camp before his fight in Japan. Title defense against Jin Sasaki. We trying to get this international bag and exposure, bro. It's big time over here, Mo. We trying to do it up, man. Last call for callers, man. Anybody want to get a last call in, man? Now's the time. The Oxium, what up, bro? Appreciate you, bro. Lampley was good, though. Yeah, Lampley was the bright spot, man. It was great to hear Jim Lampley again, man. I miss Jim Lampley, man. His voice from the HBO days, man. I miss Jim Lampley. He's one of the best to ever do it, if not the best, in my opinion, to ever do it. It was great to hear his voice. But Mike Coppinger, not so much, man. Sorry, man. Sorry if I'm too critical on Mike Coppinger, bro. Shout out to Mike Coppinger. He doing his thing, though. My man, working for ESPN, reporting news. Now he's like commentating on Turkey Out of Sheet cars. Like, yo, shout out to Mike Coppinger, bro. I ain't hating. I just don't like him as a commentator, man. I'm going to keep it real. Y'all know me. I'm critical, man. Saying it's the PEDs, I think, takes away from Rolly. Nah, you can listen. The Oxium, you absolutely correct, man. We can't do that shit either, man. You got to give Rolly credit for a really, really solid game plan. It's one thing to have a good game plan. It's another thing to stick with it and carry that shit out. My man went in there with a conscious effort to box, not get sloppy, not get hit with a left hook. And that's exactly what he did. He never got hit with a left hook. The right hand was glued to the ear like he was holding a phone. He was jabbing. He was stab jabbing to the body. He was throwing some haymakers. He caught Ryan with that double left hook that put him down. You got to give Rolly credit. We giving Rolly credit, man. We giving Rolly credit. Because we don't do that shit here at the Hangout spot, man. I didn't expect them to win, but yo, Rolly gets credit now. I used to tell people I just didn't think Rolly was good at boxing. I thought he was for the most part, he's a mauler. Former world champion, though, got to be respected. But, he's a mauler. He's a puncher. He's the definition of, You could change the fight, with one punch. He's that type of fighter, right? Because he possesses some good power. But man, he outboxed Ryan today. You got to give credit where credit is due. Y'all know we do it up here at the Hangout spot, bro. We do it up. If we're wrong, we're wrong. I'm not that dude that's going to sit here and try to be right. Nah. I'm not an expert. Neither one of us are. We like to make predictions. We have a good time with it. We think, we predict one guy's going to win. We predict another guy's going to win. But if they don't win, that's it. It is what it is. We don't do that here at the Hangout spot. This is why this is the chill spot, man. This is why this is the chill spot. He definitely gets credit, man. Someone said Rolly gets credit, but only a Discover card.
This is nasty.
PJ Red. Polo Buck. What's going on, my brother? Rolly was on hold with Saudi on the phone all night. Polo Buck, I know you wanted me on the panel over there at the Boxing Voice, but I can't do that, bro. There's too much shit going on over there, bro. People give me a headache over there, bro. I can't do that. I'm structured, man. I'm structured. I was thinking about doing a live fight chat here. The only reason why I didn't do it is because I want to enjoy the fights and hear them too. But I'm going to start doing some live fight chats if y'all down with it, man. Get some callers up in here. I loved it, man. Yesterday we did our first show with callers. It was banging, bro. Over 2 hours. Today, we did this immediate recap. Callers, excellent. I love it. I absolutely love it, bro. Polo Buck, Teal was too good. Barboza was not ready for that. Teal was a level ahead of Barboza, bro. There's no surprise there, though. I kind of figured if you really look at the two coming into that fight, bro, Teal is the much better, more well-rounded, more accomplished fighter. And there's no disrespect to Barboza. I like Barboza. I do. I just think there's levels in this game for a reason. But again, my problem with Tio is tries too hard to be the showman in the ring. It looks good, but I want the Tio that fought against Lomachenko, bro. Focus, discipline. That's the Tio that I want to see every single night. He fights. That's the guy I want to see every single night. Mo Brace and Lampley was so bored with Devin's fight, he started talking about the weather. Yo, I'm saying, bro, somebody in the chat said that he said that in HBO before in the past. I don't remember it, but I'll take your word for it. But I don't remember him ever criticizing some of the fights or the action in some of the fights. He was going in tonight, bro. Jim Lampley was going in. Shout out to Jim Lampley, bro.
Straight cash, homie.
Now, that was a good idea by Turkey to get Jim Lampley out of retirement. But what they needed to do was they needed to put him with Max Kellerman. That shit would have been the shit right there. Mike Coppinger? Come on, man. But shout out to my man, Antonio Tarver, man. That's my guy, man. I see him all the time at Pro Box, at the events in Florida. He always showing me love. He did his thing, bro. He did his thing. But Mike Coppinger was an unnecessary third wheel, in my opinion. That's just me. Y'all know I'm structured, bro. Rolly showing up tomorrow with a 7. Rolly, man, wow. I don't even know what to say about Rolly, bro. I can't diss Rolly no more. And you know me, man. Y'all know me. I don't really diss fighters. I never really dissed them. I'm just saying, like, if there was any fighter that I would say, like, really? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe he should go fight Jake Paul. I used to say that about Rolly. I used to say Rolly's a puncher, but he's not good at boxing. But damn, bro, he looked good at boxing tonight, man. Shout out to Rolly. We keep it real here, bro. There's no egos here at the Hangout spot, bro. Mo Bray said TBV got too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah, man, there's just too many cooks over there for me. And then some of them are loud and annoying, and I can't. I love Ness. I can't, but, we don't do that here at the Hangout spot, bro. We don't, I love it. I've been on the fight chats before. I love being on the panel, but again, there's just too much going on and people screaming and annoying voices. It's too much for me. No disrespect. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. It's just too much for me. So I'd rather sit those out, but I miss y'all. Yo, y'all know where to find, I'm going to be on the panel, but not on the live fight chats. I don't know if I'm going to be in live fight chats like that. And if I do jump on and it gets crazy, I'm going to have to jump off. Jim is on his Larry Merchant shit. Word, he was a little cranky today, right, Mo?
This is nasty.
But I loved it because it was justified, bro. Everything he said about the fights not being interesting was justified exactly at the point where he said it. Shout out to Jim Lampley, though, bro. I hope we see more Jim Lampley, man. I miss Jim Lampley. I miss HBO boxing. I miss Showtime boxing. I appreciate what's going on today with the streaming platforms and the zones and the Netflix and the Amazon Primes. I get it. But, bro, I'm old. Y'all got to understand, I'm old. I miss HBO boxing. I miss HBO boxing after dark. This is why I love Pro Box, because it reminds me of HBO boxing after dark. It reminds me of Showtime, after dark or whatever it was on the Friday night when we saw the prospects, where we saw Adrian Broner, where we saw Danny Garcia, all these guys, who accomplished so much in the sport. I remember seeing those guys 2, 3, 4 fights in on Showtime after dark or HBO after dark. I forget what the name of it was. But this is why I like those Pro Box platforms and the OTX and all this other stuff. Black Prime. Shout out to the platforms, but I miss my HBO and Showtime because I'm an old school. I'm an OG, baby. I'm an OG. Marco got a Tarver voodoo doll. CJ Rich. Polo Buck, if you watch Barboza versus Ramirez, Arnold fought going backwards, catching Jose with the 1-2. Tio movement and positioning was top tier. Absolutely. He could not deal with that movement, the head movement, man, the footwork, the athleticism, the hand speed. Man, Tio did some really, really good things tonight. My only criticism was I thought he should have stepped on the gas pedal late in that fight and try to push for a stoppage and instead of trying to be more of a showman. That's just my only criticism with Tio, but I love watching Tio when he performed like he did tonight. It was fun to watch. He definitely gets performance of the night, in my opinion. And that's not even I don't even know if there's anybody. Well, obviously Rolly. You got to give Rolly credit. Give Rolly credit. Rolly pulled off the upset of the night. So him and Rolly, performance of the night. But I'm talking about from a skill, but like Tio did some really, really good things in there. But you know what? Maybe you got to give it a Rolly. You probably, you got to give it a Rolly. Rolly. Yo, Rolly deserves a Crayola sponsorship now. Shout out to you, Mo. I was dying. I actually told my wife that. I said, damn, yo, Two-Tone be saying that Rolly eats crayons and shit. And this dude just cooked his boy Ryan.
This is nasty.
I said that shit and she was dying. She did the Kawhi, bro. She did the Kawhi, bro. Polo Bug, I know you and Tone bounce because round one. Polo Buck, I think you shot me a message, man. Where you going or where you at? I'm like, yo, I'm out. I can't flow, man. I had a headache, bro. Nothing about the voice, man. Respectfully, I keep that between us. Shout out to my man Tone. I'm not trying to bite his line, but I felt like I needed to say that right there. Day Blues, what up? What's going on, brother? Nah, for real, for real. Dear Johnny, you already know how we do, Alberto. Appreciate the call early on. Listen, I put the link out there if y'all wanted to call, man. Nobody's we had hella callers early on. We got nobody back here. Last call for calls, man, before we wrap it up. Tomorrow, I think we're gonna do the same thing, man. After the Canelo Skull card, I'm thinking I'm gonna do another live like this, man, and open up the phone lines and get your thoughts about that card. And those fights and how those broke down. Hopefully we get something interesting to talk about. We got some pretty decent fights on this card. I'm hoping that this card salvages what we saw today. What we saw today and what we were hoping for, I'm hoping. We had a caller that said that today, right? Let's just keep it, you never know, right? Let's stay optimistic, man. Let's stay optimistic. Hopefully tomorrow we're like, you know what? Here we go. This was a card that we should have seen yesterday. William Skull and Canelo tomorrow in the main event. Canelo going for undisputed at 168 for the second time. Munguia against Suras, the rematch. Badu Jack is going to be on the card. You got Effie Ajagba against Martin Holy Moly Bacoli, heavyweight battle, 2 punchers. Listen, maybe tomorrow's card steals the entire weekend, man. And if it does, we will be right back at it. About a half hour after the show is over, we'll go live. I'll put a link out. Make sure y'all hit y'all notifications. Tell everybody that you know. Come fuck with the Hangout spot. This is how we do it up. Smash that like button if you haven't. Tell a friend to subscribe. I'm opening up the phone lines tomorrow. We're going to do it up, man. We're going to do it up. They call him two-tone because he black outside, Latino on the inside. That's my brother Tone, man. Yo, he crashing out. He did a live earlier. He was crashing out. I felt bad for him, but he keep it a buck, bro. I think he gave up on Ryan after this performance. I think the matchmaking for the July 12th card is much, much better. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to be in the building for that one. The Hangout spot will be boots to ground. I'm going to be in the building for that one. And tomorrow we're going to be right back here at the studio. Hopefully all of y'all come and join me for a live after party show. Phone lines will be open. Tell a friend and make sure you hit that subscribe button. But as always, bro, I appreciate the time and support, the love. Appreciate all y'all. Y'all family, man. As always, this is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot Live. Enjoy the fights tomorrow, and I'll see everybody tomorrow night. Peace.